Good morning everyone. Welcome you all back to the lecture video session on different theories of motivation. In the previous lecture video we discussed about Maslow's need theory and McClelland's three needed model, and also we discussed about the other theories also. So in this we are going to find out another two theories which are very important, and where majority of the experiments are conducted on the people, their behavior, and then the factors that influence the success and the working conditions. Hawthorne's experiments are well known, and then these experiments were conducted in the Western Electric Company. These Hawthorne studies is conducted by Dr. Elton Mayo and his associates, and they conducted this experiment in the Western Electric Company between 1924 to 1933, and they made a number of practical, conceptual, and then the methodological innovations in the human factors. The studies demonstrated that treating workers as an appendant to the machine is a flawed conceptual framework. That is, the story of the Hawthorne studies is in many ways similar to the development of the HCI field. Hawthorne experiments are well known to find out that the behavioral patterns of the workers inside a company which influence the working of the workers or to meet the objectives. And the very important experiment that was conducted were listed out, and then the types of experiments that were conducted were illumination experiments, relay assembly test room experiment, bank writing observation room experiment, and mass interviewing program. In all these illumination experiments were directly connected to the influential factors of the human behavior. So illumination experiments, what it exactly showed is that a group of people were allowed to work on the increased illumination, the same group of people were made to work in the decreased illumination, and they also worked under the moonlight illumination. And the patterns of productivity are all studied there, and then the productivity remained constant under all such situations. So there is no relationship between the illumination of light and the productivity is proved. And what are the conclusions of Hawthorne studies experiments on a broader sense is that the conclusions that are derived from the Hawthorne studies are social and the psychological factors are responsible for the workers' productivity and the job satisfaction. Only the good physical working conditions are not enough to increase the productivity. No matter what the ambience that is given by the company, it is the social and the psychological matters are the factors that influences the productivity of a person. The informal relations among the workers influence the workers' behavior and the performance more than the formal relationship. There should be friendship, there should be belongingness, there should be the positive environment which makes everybody to work towards the goal or the objective that is given. If the negative work environment is prevailed in an organization, no matter whatever the conditions that they are working in, no matter whether the very good ambience that is given, it is not going to promote or it is not going to boost the workers' performance. Employees will perform better if they are allowed to participate in the decision making affecting their interests. So the democratic style or the participative style is going to give the better result and better decision to the team leader, and they will be working in the groups towards the common objective. So the next theory is Room's valence expectancy theory. Room's valence expectancy theory is basically on one equation, which is force is equal to valence multiplied by expectancy. Here the force is nothing but the motivation, valence is nothing but the individual preference for the outcome. The third one is the expectancy, which is nothing but the desired outcome. If the individual preference for outcome is going to be 0, then again the motivation to do the work by anybody is going to be 0. Other way around, if the motivation is 0, then no matter whether the individual wants to work in the complete towards a common objective is going to be 0, because the desired outcome is directly proportional to the motivation that is given to them. So the effort and the performance and the rewards are going to be equally effective. So when the effort which is nothing but the expectancy is given, every employee can be made to self-analyze, will my effort lead to the higher performance, and when the performance comes into the picture instrumentally, will the performance lead to the outcome So do I find the real outcomes when I perform? The third one is, do I found the outcomes desirable? So if the motivation is 0, then the outcome will be 0. If the desired outcome is going to be 0, then the motivation will also be 0. So individual preference for outcome, if at all it becomes 0, then the entire working environment will become 0 and there will not be any kind of productivity. So when a person is indifferent about achieving a certain goal, then the valence of 0 occurs. So when a person would rather not achieve a goal, then also the negative valence occurs. So in either case, the result of the course is that where there can be no motivation. So the valence and then the motivation are directly proportional to each other. So according to Martin Luther, then everything that is done in the world is done with the hope. So wherever there is a positivity and wherever there is a hope, everything works out in the benefit of the company. So the next one is Porter and Lawler model of motivation. In this Porter and Lawler model of motivation, it is a very improved version of Room's expectancy theory. Here, the model was basically applied to study the behavior of the managers. So it was concluded that there exists a complex relationship between the effort, performance, the role of perceptions or the demands of the job, and then the ability of the model, ability of the people. So it is concluded that there exists a complex relationship between the attitudes and then the performance of every employee or the performance of employees. So here the figure shows that the Porter and the Lawler model of motivation, and we all know that the efforts leads to the performance. The efforts leads to the performance means, according to this model, the amount of the efforts that is exerted depends on the value of the rewards and an idea of the efforts required to do the job. So if the rewards are directly proportional to them, then it could be two types of rewards. One is the intrinsic reward and the other one is the extrinsic reward that is going to lead to the satisfaction. Intrinsic rewards, again, it could be the appreciation or that is given by the senior management or the leader, or extrinsic reward could be the reward that is given as a recognition through any kind of bonus or any kind of the transfers, or it could be the pay hike or any one of this, which is going to give the satisfaction to the ability of the motivated people. So this is the perceived equity of the rewards which is going to lead to the performance. So the first one is the perceived value of the rewards. Second one is the perceived probability that efforts will result in the performance. Third one is the perceived probability that performance will result in the desired reward. So the ability of the person is also is another factor which is going to reflect in the performance, and the performance is to be recognized by either the intrinsic rewards or then the extrinsic rewards. So which leads to the satisfaction and people are going to be continuously motivated. So this is this concluded this Porter and Lawler model categorized the rewards as the extrinsic rewards and the intrinsic rewards. So motivation is also affected by the ability and then the perceptions. So with this we are going to conclude the different theories that are proposed on the motivation factor, and that is going to be that are the outcomes of the different experiments that are conducted by the people who worked on the different employees. With this we come to the end of this lecture video session on the theories of motivation, and see you all in the next video on the two different major important the topics of discussion, and then the very important component of the management, they are communication and the coordination. With this we come to the end of this theory of motivation. See you all in the next lecture video on communication and coordination. Thank you everyone.